What's up guys, Jag here, and I'm going to talk about the Haste build versus Mastery build when it comes to casted Mistweaver and when you should use each one. I'll start by saying you can use either in any PvP format and be successful, so I think most people will just choose whichever they prefer since it's a hassle to farm out two different gear sets. But I know a lot of people like to min-max their characters, so this is going to be an explanation as to when you should use one over the other. The easiest way to explain it from my experience is haste is better until it runs out of mana, whereas mastery seems to be more mana efficient. So if you're playing twos or threes, mana is a critical element to winning games, so in those brackets, I would recommend a mastery build. In solo shuffle, mana is not really as much of a concern since the rounds are so short, so I would recommend a haste build. And then in RBGs, you are really focused around spreading your hots to everyone, making haste a more efficient way to do so. Especially with the 2 set that we will eventually get, mana won't be an issue in RBGs because there will be a ton of targets to spread your renewing mists for more mana procs. Whereas in Arena, you don't really have as many targets to get as many mana procs, so Mastery is going to be the way to go for mana. Now you might be wondering why Haste is easier to heal with than Mastery. So we can take a look at a standard Haste build here and note that there are a few talent points that can be changed, but I'll start by saying Haste is easier to heal with for two big reasons. One, there are shorter global cooldowns, meaning that you can perform actions more often and the spec will feel faster paced. This also, in my opinion, makes the class just feel more fun and fluid, so if you're just picking up this class to mess around with, I highly recommend Haste. The second reason is that it makes your healing more reliant on heal over time effects. This healing style is very powerful in PvP because healing over time effects will heal even if you are not casting. So if you get CC'd or maybe you need to line behind a pillar, you can still rely on your hots to keep people alive when you can't cast. Looking at the talent tree here, this is what I like to run. But there are definitely things that you can change. I know a lot of people don't like to run Zen Pulse, so you can remove that and get an extra point. You also don't need 2 points in Rapid Diffusion, and you also don't need 2 points in Misty Peaks. You want to keep 1 point in Rapid Diffusion because it's really important. If your Renewing Mist falls off when you get CC'd, you want a way to reapply it very, very quickly, like just pressing your Enveloping Mist. But yeah, so you have these 4 points to choose from. I know a lot of people do like to go Shaylun's Gift, so you definitely have that as an option. You can also put points into Secret Infusion. You can even make your way down to Mending Proliferation or Invokers. You definitely have options there. But this is what I like to run for the Haste build. On the left side, it is a pretty standard build here. A lot of you might want to know why I have 2 points in Fast Feet. I just like this because it helps me kill totems and Scythians faster to let my DPS be a little bit more aggressive. But you can definitely get rid of this. You could also get rid of Grace of the Crane and make your way down this side of the tree. This is probably a more standard build that people are used to seeing on the left side. It's definitely up to you. That's pretty much it for the Haste build. For the Mastery build, it is pretty similar. The biggest difference is that you really want to get Resplendent Mists here. This is going to power up your Mastery healing, which is your Gust of Mists. And then this also lets us branch out to Tea of Serenity. Tea of Serenity is a really underrated talent in my opinion. It gives you more free Vivifies, and you have to remember that Mastery, we're trying to be as mana efficient as possible. So free Vivifies is like really, really important. It also gives you more instant cast Enveloping Mists, or just more value out of your Enveloping Mist, so you become more mana efficient that way as well. But again, I know a lot of people don't like Zen Pulse, so you can take it out, and then you have a point to spend here. You could put a second point into Rapid Diffusion, or you could put a point into Mending Proliferation, or you could even put a point into Secret Infusion to get more mastery when you Vivify with your Thunder Focus Tea. Another thing to mention is that you don't need Gift of the Celestials either. You can swap it to Jade Bond. I really like Gift of the Celestials just because damage is so high, it gives you a little bit more healing, but it is technically less mana efficient to run this because Yulon does cost a lot of mana. and it doesn't last long enough to really make up for the reduced enveloping mist cost. So that's why you could go to Jade Bond, but I do like the extra healing from this, so I keep that. And then the left side is exactly the same. Again, we could remove Fast Feet and Grace to the Crane, make our way down to the left side here. The only difference is I did take a point out of Tiger Tail Sweep, because I only like 1 point here to increase the range. I don't really care for the reduced cooldown that the talent gives, since I tend to use it every minute or so anyways to line up with DPS goes. And I actually put 1 point into Strength of Spirit. I do really like Expel Harm for the Mastery build because it does proc your Gust of Mist, and it does do decent healing. The reason why I like Expel Harm is because not only is it good instant cast heal on yourself, but let's say you're healing like a warrior or something, and you're channeling Soothing Mist, it will also heal the warrior. And if they go behind a pillar or range you, it will still heal them. So it is a really cool tool to use if you're in a solo shuffle. Your Zug Zug warrior is going behind the pillar. It's at least some kind of healing you can use to potentially keep them alive. But you have to channel the Soothing Mist before they go behind the pillar, of course. Now that we've gone over the Mastery build and the Haste build, I'll show you an RBG build that I recommend. This is what I like to run. I'll actually start with the left side here just because, again, like you can pretty much change anything. You don't really need Expel Harm talents. I don't even run Rising Sun Kick because I just don't attack ever when I'm playing RBGs. I just try to, my goal is to pad the meters with healing as a Mistweaver. So I just take whatever helps me do that. I do take Disable in case I need to slow people from getting to an objective or something, but you can move talents around here. On the right side, it's pretty much all about spreading your hots. So you want to make sure you have your Rapid Diffusion. You press Enveloping Mist a lot. You don't even Vivify like nearly as much as Arena. So that's why I like to run Mana Tea, because I'm not really using the life cycles rotation. I'm just sort of throwing out Enveloping Mists. And also lines up pretty well with Yu'lon, because Yu'lon also costs a lot of mana. So a basic rotation I would use is basically just Mana Tea, Yu'lon, maybe a Thunder Focus Tea, and then just start spamming Enveloping Mists on everyone, and it won't cost that much mana at all. You also have Invoker's Delight to increase the potency of your hots. But if you do want to run a Mastery version of this, you can take out these 2 points here and put them into Resplendent Mist. You don't really need extra points into Life Cocoon talents. Your Life Cocoon will be more than enough to save someone in an RBG. The only time I might think about going down this tree is against or in a flag carrying map. You could potentially say, like, if you're running Haste, you could take these 2 points and put them here and just get a big giant shield to protect your flag carrier. That is an option, but that is pretty much all the builds I have for Casted Mistweaver. I hope you guys got the answers you were looking for, and if you have any questions, you can comment down below or ask me when I'm streaming on Twitch. I would be more than happy to answer your questions. So with all that said, I will see you guys in the next one.